Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Bold and the Beautiful. Rich protects Taylor's heart, refuses to marry Brooke. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal that Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, has just been diagnosed with broken heart syndrome. Of course, Taylor has swore Ridge Forrester, Thorsten Kaye, to secrecy. Meanwhile, Brooke Logan's Catherine Kelly Lang recent conversation with Bill Spencer, Don Diamond, is weighing heavily on her mind. Will Brooke ask Ridge to marry her since they have been together for so long? Could Ridge refuse because of Taylor's heart condition? The Bold and the Beautiful spoiler indicate that months ago, Brooke was supposed to be designing her own wedding dress. However, nothing has been mentioned about it since then, and no wedding plans were ever made. Now that Taylor is back home, it doesn't seem they will make it to the altar at all. Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline Missinswood, is convinced that her parents belong together. Steffy has already told her father that he needs to help convince Taylor to stay there. However, Steffy isn't interested in her parents being friends. She wants her father to leave Brooke and reunite with Taylor. Perhaps Ridge feels the same. Ridge wants his family to work together. Ridge is tired of the Forrester and Logan feuds, and he needs it to be over. This is why Ridge gave Brooke an executive position at Forrester Creations. Brooke and Steffy seem to be getting along. However, that doesn't mean that Steffy doesn't throw her little innuendos about Ridge and Taylor. Brooke promised to surprise Ridge when she came up with her wedding dress design. Could Brooke surprise Ridge with her design now that Bill has her thinking about a wedding? What will Ridge says about Brooke's dress? Is Ridge even willing to get married now that Taylor is back in LA and sick? Will Ridge give Brooke some lame excuse? If Ridge refuses to marry Brooke, she is certainly going to start putting things together. After all, they were fine to get married when Taylor wasn't there, but now it's an issue. Ridge can't give away Taylor's secret, because that wouldn't be right. However, Brooke deserves an explanation of some sort. Will Ridge break Taylor's confidence and tell Brooke the truth? If Brooke doesn't find out the truth, Ridge may end up losing her altogether. However, fans suspect that Ridge will end up marrying Taylor to heal her broken heart. Since Kate Logan, Heather Tom, doesn't want to be with Bill, Brooke could certainly turn to him. Is Ridge about to push Brooke into Bill's arms? Will Ridge finally be honest for once in his life when it comes to Taylor? In the sunny, sprawling mansion of the Forrester estate, tension hung like thick velvet curtains as Ridge paced back and forth. His signature scruffy beard and tousled salt and pepper hair made him look rugged, but his face was twisted with indecision. Ridge Forrester, fashion mogul, son of the great Eric Forrester, was about to make a choice that would alter his life and the lives of the women he loved forever. Taylor or Brooke? His heart had been torn between them for decades. He paused, staring out the window, his mind flashing back to countless memories. His fiery love affair with Brooke Logan, the woman who had stolen his heart time and time again, left him breathless with desire and confusion. She was the mother of his children, a whirlwind of passion, and often chaos. But then there was Taylor Hayes, his beacon of stability and calm, the kind of love that nurtured his soul. Taylor had seen him through the darkest of times, always providing a refuge from the storms that Brooke created. It wasn't just his heart at stake. He needed to protect Taylor's too. Brooke, radiant as ever, stood in the room nearby, watching him intently. Her golden hair framed her face, glowing in the afternoon light. There was an air of expectancy around her. She had made it clear that she wanted Ridge to finalize things between them, to marry her once again. How many times had they walked down that road? How many times had their passion burned them both? Ridge, darling, Brooke called softly, her voice filled with a mixture of love and impatience. You've been distant for days. I thought we agreed. We love each other. We belong together. Why can't you just commit to this, to us? Ridge turned to face her, his brow furrowed in deep thought. His heart hammered in his chest, but his voice, when it came, was steady. I can't, Brooke, not like this. The words hung in the air, and Brooke's smile faltered. What do you mean, not like this? We've been through worse, Ridge. We always find our way back, you know that. Ridge stepped closer, his eyes softened but determined. I do love you, Brooke, but it's not that simple anymore. Every time we try to make this work, someone ends up hurt. Most of the time, it's Taylor. And I'm not going to let that happen again. Brooke's eyes widened. Taylor? What does she have to do with this? She's moved on, at least she claims to. She knows you belong with me. Ridge, we're soulmates. You can't just walk away from that because you're afraid of hurting someone else. He shook his head. It's not about fear, Brooke. It's about doing what's right. Taylor has stood by me through everything, and I've hurt her more times than I can count. She deserves better than being strung along while we figure things out. Brooke's voice grew sharper. So what? You're just going to toss aside everything we've been through? All the love we shared? For Taylor? Ridge, she's strong. She doesn't need you to protect her. Ridge's expression hardened. Maybe she doesn't need me to protect her. But that's exactly why I'm doing it. I can't keep breaking her heart, Brooke. I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't hurt her again. I can't marry you and act like Taylor's feelings don't matter. Brooke's hands clenched into fists at her sides, her face a mask of frustration. You're not making any sense. What does protecting Taylor have to do with us? You love me, Ridge. You want to be with me. Ridge closed his eyes briefly, a wave of exhaustion washing over him. He was so tired of the back and forth, the constant upheaval. His love for Brooke was undeniable, but so was the realization that their relationship had always been fraught with pain and complications. I do love you, Brooke, he repeated, his voice soft but firm. But sometimes, love isn't enough. Our love has always been explosive. Passionate, yes, but also destructive. And every time we get back together, Taylor is left in the wreckage. Brooke's lips trembled. So, you're choosing her. Ridge's eyes locked with hers. I'm not choosing Taylor over you. I'm choosing to stop the cycle. I don't want to marry you, Brooke, not because I don't care about you, but because I care too much about what we've become. I don't want to hurt Taylor any more than I already have. And I don't want to hurt you by pretending this time will be any different. Brooke stared at him, her heart racing as a cold, heavy weight settled in her chest. She had never truly believed this moment would come, that Ridge would finally draw a line between them for Taylor's sake. So that's it. After everything we've been through, you're just walking away. I'm not walking away from you, Brooke. I'll always be there for you, as a friend, as the mother of my children. But we can't keep going around in circles like this. I have to be fair to Taylor, and to you. The silence between them stretched thin, both of them wrestling with their emotions. Brooke's eyes shimmered with unshed tears, her perfect facade cracking as she realized the gravity of Ridge's words. She had always believed that no matter how many times they stumbled, Ridge would eventually come back to her. But now, it seemed like the cycle was finally coming to an end. What about our future, Ridge? She whispered, a tear slipping down her cheek. What about everything we dreamed of? Ridge reached out, wiping the tear away gently, his heart aching at the sight of her pain. I'm sorry, Brooke, I really am. But sometimes the best thing we can do for the people we love is to let go. As Ridge stepped back, the sun outside dipped lower, casting long shadows across the room. It felt like the end of an era, a love story that had spanned decades, finally reaching its inevitable conclusion. Ridge had chosen to protect Taylor's heart, and in doing so, he was choosing to save them all from further heartache. Brooke was left standing alone, the dream of forever with Ridge slipping through her fingers. She watched as he walked away, his figure retreating from the room, from their future together. And though her heart screamed for him to come back, deep down she knew that this time, Ridge wasn't coming back.